We're doing multiple searches and that we're utilizing our partners at the FBI that have some really, great equipment, training, experienced people, all of those things. We're coming at this investigation with from every angle and with everything that we have access to.
We have not been able to locate the child as of yet.
We want answers! We want answers!
Detectives in the ongoing search for missing at-risk child Melodee Buzzard are now sharing surveillance footage of the 9-year-old with her mom. Take a look at this. Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office releasing a portion of the video footage that was taken on October 7th in that rental car business. And you can see Ashlee Buzzard and Melodee, they're both wearing wigs. This was right before they took that cross-country trip. Investigators also believe that Ashlee swapped out wigs throughout the trip to intentionally avoid recognition during her travel. Throughout the investigation, detectives have confirmed the following: that Ashlee left California with Melodee on the 7th, driving a rented white 2024 Chevy Malibu that initially had a California tag on it. Detectives believe that Ashlee and Melodee traveled as far as Nebraska with a return route that included Kansas. Beginning on October 8th, the Malibu was seen with a New York license plate. Detectives believe this was a false plate deliberately switched out to avoid detection. Then on the 9th, Melodee was last seen on video surveillance between the Colorado-Utah border. So, are detectives getting closer to finding Melodee? Let's talk about it. I'm going to bring in two of the best investigators I know. Retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer and private investigator Manuel Gomez. Both of you have been on this case since the news broke. Thank you so much for joining us with this update with the footage. So we saw the still photos for a while. Those had been circulating, and then last night there was a decision to show some video. Agent Coffindaffer, would you start us off with your thoughts this morning on the investigation?
Well, certainly when you look at this, you see the premeditation involved. This wasn't a situation that something happened and all of a sudden she decided to take this trip. Just those New York license or the New York license plate that was used. You can order them on eBay. You can order them on Amazon. It's about $30 for an old plate. And so I believe she would have premeditated this action and known she was going to want to cover her tracks, if you will. Also, those wigs, it definitely shows criminal activity afoot.
Yes, Jen. Manuel, let me go to you next, please. So see in the video, tell us this morning what you're picking up on, any additional thoughts, seeing a little bit more information on that day that mom rented that car to take her daughter God knows where.
Well, it's like Jennifer said, and I agree with her 100%. The premeditation in this case is rock solid. This mother premeditatedly knew that she was going to take this child to an area that it was easy to get rid of. And you got to remember, Julie, this journey to this Nebraska and Utah, she had to go through a desert. She had to go through mountainous terrain, densely wooded forests. There's so many areas she could have dropped this innocent child off at. But what boggles me the most, Julie, is, again, like you and I have been saying, why isn't she arrested? This is a rock-solid case for child endangerment and a rock-solid case for child neglect. This mother has called the bluff of all law enforcement. She has stayed quiet, Julie, and she will not speak. The only way this woman's going to speak is when she's in an orange jumpsuit and she has no freedom. Then you will loosen her tongue when a judge says, you're going to be in contempt of court if you don't speak.
I couldn't agree with you more, Manuel. Thank you for that. So Melodee's grandmother, Ashlee's mother, is speaking out. She did an interview with KSBY reporter Crystal Bermudez. Here's what she had to say about the 9-year-old's disappearance in those surveillance photos and possible familiar faces along Ashlee's route of travel.
What were your first thoughts when you saw this image?
I was totally numb and in shock. This is just so shocking to me, and that my granddaughter is dressed in a disguise. This is just so overwhelming. It's just so really scary.
You're saying that her father's family, his people...
And my family.
And your family are along those routes.
Utah.
Utah.
Yeah, Utah. When you start getting past Utah coming back, that's when you're running into his friends. You need to tell them where the baby is. You need to tell them who's setting all these things up for you. I know you're not doing it.
According to investigators, the Malibu was driven by Ashlee Buzzard and traveled through these areas. Here's the map. This is on or about October the 9th. They went through Green River, Utah, Penguich, Utah, Northwest Arizona, Primm, Nevada, Rancho Cucamonga, California. And then when mom came home, she came home without Melodee and then would not answer any questions as to where her daughter is. Now, based on grandma's emotional plea, we're wondering, should mom be the only person of interest here? As grandma talked about, there are other relatives in the area along the way. Should Melodee's mom be the only person investigators are focusing on? Jen, what do you say?
Well, I say that the mom should be the character they're focusing on. This is her plan. This is what she decided to do with Melodee. And thankfully, there's a GPS on that 2024 and keystroke. Also, those are going to be important for when that car was turned on and off, and to show the time frames and how long possibly that car was sitting still. But in terms of her actually going to a relative or friend of this family and dropping her off, it's possible. I don't think it's probable. And it's also possible that that person would unwittingly not even know about this. I mean, let's be fair. There are so many crimes that happen that if you're not a junkie of true crime or a newsie, you're not going to know about. Do I think this is a probable scenario? I do not. I don't think she would ever get Melodee out from underneath her thumb and control.
Right, Jen, right. And you would think any of those relatives who loves the child would speak up now that this has gone, national, and that they would say, oh, come on, we have the girl. Yeah, this is so bizarre to me. All the stops, Manuel, let me ask you about that. Initially, we knew there was a trip to Nebraska. And so initially we were talking so much about that. I know you both remember the conversations. Now we've got all these other places. Why? Manuel, your best educated guess.
Well, I think she was using all these other places as a way of distracting, throwing off law enforcement. That was the purpose of the Wigs, going to these different locations so you didn't know which spot she might have dropped off at. But you got to remember two things, Julie, and that is Utah and Nebraska. And these are the two main locations she was at, have an infamous problem for sex trafficking. Okay, in 2015, they had to set up a sex trafficking task force just in Nebraska to deal with their problems. Again, these two locations are ideal. And unfortunately, every day we wait, every second that goes by, the chances of us finding her alive are going to be that much more smaller. To be honest with you, if she is sex trafficked, I guarantee she'll be dead in maybe 2 years, because that's usually the life expectancy of kids like this. Unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong.
Right. No, I know you do, Manuel. I know you do. Yeah, that was my initial thought. As soon as I heard that mom took her to Nebraska, that was just what came into my mind, that, oh my God, I hope that she wasn't sold. Jen Coffindeffer, what do you say about that potential theory?
I don't think that happened to her, but let me say why. I think this is a woman, at least according to all reports from family and from her own mother, that's very intricate. This is a woman with serious mental health issues, and I think the triggering of the financial problems she was having, she was more than $23,000 in debt, as well as the worry that law enforcement or CPS was going to come take Melodee, cause some sort of mental break, and she took off with that child. And I do agree with Manuel, though, as the minutes tick by, I think there's less and less chance we're going to find her alive.
I know, it's so awful. I hope they arrest this mom soon. Like, something's got to happen. I was in the camp of arrest her, weeks ago. I would have, not my case, but we are certainly interested. We'll keep talking about it. You both have provided such great analysis throughout the progression of this. Thank you for joining us this morning. Jennifer Coffindeffer, Manuel Gomez, thank you kindly.